So what is claws? The nails of the bird which is attached to the toes, we call them as claws. Yes, at last I got the answer, the chat box. So let's see how the feet and claws of these birds differ according to their habitat. Birds have feet and claws that help them perch on trees. Siddharth, mute yourself, Siddharth. The perch means to hold on to trees and wires. Have you seen birds sitting on wires?
Ma'am, it is echoing, ma'am.
Yes, if you are mute only, you can hear my voice properly, otherwise it will echo. So can we stand on wires? We can't balance it, but how can birds stand on wires? Have you ever thought of it? It is because of the feet and claws of some birds which can hold the wires or branches of the tree firmly. So it can balance without falling down. It can hold just like a clip. Have you seen clip? It can hold our hairs tightly. Similarly, the feet of these birds, some birds, they can hold on to the wires or branches firmly without falling down. A claw is a nail-like part that grows at the end of the bird's toe. So, can you see? This is the claw. Claw means nail-like part that grows at the end of the bird's toe. So, this is, we call it as claws. We don't call it as nails because their claws are very, very sharp. So, we call them as claws. Aradhya, Shri Asni, mute yourself.
Ma'am, read the screen again, ma'am.
I want you to first mute yourself. If you have any doubt, come in the chat box. So let's see how these birds hold on to the branch of the tree firmly. So some birds like sparrows and pigeons, they sit or perch on trees, branches for long. So they can stand on wires, they can stand on a branch of the tree for very long time. So they have claws that firmly hold onto the branch of a tree. So these are called perching birds. Perching means they can hold on to the branch or wire for very long time and they can stand on it, rest on it for very long time by holding branches or wires. So example, crow, sparrow, myna, thrush. So these birds can hold the branches of the trees firmly even while sleeping. So they just stand and they just sleep. So their feet helps in holding the birds even while sleeping. So these birds, we call them as perching birds. What is the meaning of perching? To hold on tightly. They have long, slender claws. Slender in the meaning very thin, with 3 toes in the front and 1 toe at the back. See, can you see? They have 3 toes in the front and 1 toe behind, which holds on tightly, just like a clip. They just perch to the branch. So they are called perching birds. What are all the examples we saw of perching birds? Crow, myna, excellent. So all these are birds which we usually see. So okay, crow, sparrow, myna, thrush. All these birds are called perching birds. Excellent. Next we have climbing birds. So climbing birds like woodpecker have strong pointed claws. So these help them to climb and cling onto the bark of a tree. So have you seen woodpeckers? They always stand on the bark of the tree. They don't stand on the branch. So they hold on to the bark of the tree tightly. So their feet help them to hold on to the bark and cling on it. See, even parrot and woodpeckers have 2 toes pointing upwards and 2 downwards. Can you see? So here they have totally 4 toes and 2 toes will be pointing upward and 2 toes will be pointing downwards. And this modification helps to these birds, climbing birds, to climb on the branches. So can you see how woodpecker hold on to the bark of the tree without falling down? It's very difficult for the other birds, but this woodpecker has such a type of feet which can cling onto the bark of the trees. So what is the example of climbing birds? We saw 2 examples, right?
Parrot and woodpecker, ma'am.
Excellent. Parrot and woodpecker. So you should not confuse with between the types of birds and their feet. Yes. So perching birds, already you told me, crow, sparrow, thrush, pigeon, all that. Next we saw about climbing birds. Example, woodpecker and parrot. Next we are going to see about the swimming birds. Swimming birds, we know duck and swan are the swimming birds. So how is the feet of these birds? See, they totally have different types of feet. They have webbed feet. They use their feet as paddles to swim in water. You know what is the meaning of paddle? Where is the paddle used? Boat. Excellent, Sayed. So, paddles, when we row in a boat, we use paddles. Yes, swimmer will use paddles. We call it as tudupu. With long stick and one broad shaped plank will be there attached to the long stick. We call it as paddles. In Tamil, we call them as tudupu. So, here the swimming birds have webbed feet which is used as paddles to swim in water. The swimming birds like duck have special webs of skin between each of their toes. Can you see how it uses its paddle shaped feet? The skin between them will be very, very thin. So it helps to move the water and swim in water. So these work like paddles, help the bird to swim easily. A pintail duck swims with its webbed feet. So pintail duck is a duck which always swims in water. So the important structure of this bird is the webbed feet which helps it to swim in water. So what are the examples we saw for swimming birds?
Duck and swan, ma'am.
Yes, duck and swan.
Duck and swan, ma'am.
Next, we are going to see about wading birds. What is the meaning of wading? Wade. Yes. Wade means to move in water. We can find some birds, they always stand or live near the waters and they hunt the fishes. They stand for long hours in the shallow water and they hunt the fishes. So these birds are called wading birds. Wading means to move around in water. So these birds have special type of legs which helps them to move through the water without sinking, without going inside the water. So examples like for wading birds are cranes and herons. They stand for long hours in shallow water. Shallow means the the depth of the water will be low. Their long and thin legs help them easily wade through muddy water without sinking. So stork, heron, crane, like this we have so many birds. As wading birds, they have thin and long legs with wide spread toes. See the toes, how it is spread? See, it is spread widely so that they can hold on to the muddy soil. So, how is the soil used to be under the water? It will be muddy, right? So, it helps them to hold on to the muddy water and helps them to stand firmly in water. Even if the tide is heavy, they have to stand firmly. So this type of toes of wading birds help them to hold on or cling on to the muddy soil in the water, under the water. So they have thin, long and widespread toes. So all these are characteristic features of wading birds. These toes keep the feet from sinking in the soft mud. So they don't sink. They just stand firm. So, what are the examples we saw for wading birds? Crane, heron, stork. Yes. Good children. Very good. I'm getting so many answers. So, my children are listening to my class. Lovely children. Yes, next we are going to see about flesh-eating birds. So, flesh-eating birds, eagle, yes, eagle, vulture. So, all these are flesh-eating birds. They hunt the prey, small animals like rabbit. They hunt when they are flying from very high distance. They will have sharp eyesight and they will see for animals. And using their sharp claws, they can catch and they can take it to their nest. So eagles have sharp claws.
Varadu.
Satvika, mute yourself here.
Flesh-eating birds like eagle have long and sharp claw called
Satvika, mute yourself.
The birds around us.
ஃபேன் போட்ட தேஜு டமால் தள்ளி விட்டுருவேன்.
So can you see the claws of the eagle? How sharp it is? It is curved and it is very, very sharp. So it helps in tearing the flesh. So these special type of claws we called as talons. What do we call them as? Talons. Talons. So which helps them to tear apart their prey and eat it. So examples of flesh-eating birds, eagle, hawk and owl. They have sharp claws. The claws of these birds, we call them as talons. See how they fly and catch the bird, catch the rabbit, and they just fly away. So these claws help them catch and hold the prey firmly. So when they are flying also, they can hold on to the prey without dropping them and then carry it away. So,
Ma'am, we take any animals, ma'am.
yes, it can take any small animal. Okay, what is the example of flesh-eating bird?
Hand, ma'am.
Yes. Mm.
Eagle.
Yes, eagle, hawk, and owl. Yes. What is the claw named? Claws of an eagle is called as talons. Yes. So this you have to remember. Claws of the flesh-eating bird, we call them as talons. Example of these birds: eagle, hawk, and owl. Next, we have scratching birds. The scratching bird, like hens, they have sharp, hard claws to dig out their food from the ground. Running or scratching birds like chickens use their sharp, horny claws to scratch the earth for seeds and worms. So, hens and cocks, what do they eat? They eat only seeds or worms or very small insects which they find from the ground. So they have sharp and horny claws which helps them to dig out these worms and seeds from the ground. These birds have strong feet, so their feet used to be strong with long toes. So 3 toes and 1 short hind toes which is situated behind. And in male chickens, there used to be an extra toe that is called as fine fur used to found on male chickens. We call them as fine fur. So it is found in male chickens, that is cock. So it is found above each foot. So that is why some male cocks are used for fighting. They have very strong fine fur. So that's all about the feet and claws. So we saw what are all the types of birds we saw. Scratching bird, swimming
Scratching birds,
bird,
Climbing birds, ma'am.
yes, Sudarshini, Subhashri, very good. Birds, flesh-eating birds. Next, we are going to see about their habitat or living place. So every one of us have a house to live, right? So where do the birds live? Nest. Yes. So they build their own house. So we call them as nest. Yes. Do they build their? Do we build or they build their own nest? They build their how architecture
Baby safe.
birds are.
Ma'am,
Yes. To take care of the baby,
baby safe.
to lay eggs. Yes. Very good. But I'll be happy if you come in the chat box. So they build their own nest. Different birds do build different types of nests. Some birds they really weave their own nest. Some birds, they just do tailoring work. Have you seen tailor bird's nest? They just do tailoring work in the leaf itself. They build their own nest in the leaf itself. So some birds are really good in this building nest. So what is the use of nest? Why do they build their own nest? To lay their eggs. They sit on there till they hatch. That means till the baby ones come out, they sit on their eggs and they hatch their eggs. The last one to stay till they are ready to fly. See, when they hatch, immediately they won't be able to fly, right? Their wings have to be formed and they have to get that strong wings. Then only they can fly. So till they become or till they are ready to fly, these mummy birds, parent birds will take care of the baby birds. So,
Ma'am, please speak louder. I cannot hear you.
Ma'am,
Ma'am, your voice is not audible.
am I audible now?
Yes, ma'am. Now you are audible.
Yes, yes.
yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. Thank you, children. So now you can mute yourself. Yes. What are the materials they use for building their nest? Grass, okay.
Stick, ma'am.
Twigs, sticks.
Sticks means, ma'am.
Yes, dried leaves, sticks. So birds use twigs, leaves, dry grasses, feathers, and even pebbles to build their nest. So different types of nest can be seen. So sparrow's nest. Oh, okay, you have sparrow nest in your own. Okay. A sparrow makes a deep cup-shaped nest. They use dry twigs to make their nest. Okay.
Ma'am,
So
my
sparrows build a.
and my house need tree have the one bird, ma'am.
Okay, okay. I'm
have
listening
so
to all your. Okay, Pratiksha, now mute yourself, dear. I'll give you time at the end. That time we can discuss about the all these things. Okay. So sparrow makes a deep shaped nest using twigs. Next we have woodpecker. Woodpecker, where do they stay? They stay in the hollow trees. So it makes the tree hollow by digging to it. Next we have weaver birds. Weaver birds in Tamil, you know what do we call them?
Tukanagurvi, ma'am.
Yes. We call them as Tukanangurivi. Good. You know, interesting thing about this weaver bird, you know, the male weaver bird will build nest. So this female bird, it used to check the nest, and once it approves only, it will stay in the nest. If it does not like, it will not stay in that nest. So the male bird, again, it has to build its own nest until it satisfies the female bird. So weaver birds use their strong beaks to weave their nest using rough grasses and paddy leaves. So that's something interesting about weaver birds, right? Next we have tailor bird. A tailor bird stitches leaves to make its nest. So tailor bird, it stitch using the leaves and build its own nest in the leaves itself. Next we have ducks. So ducks, we can find their nest near the pond. So ducks makes their nest near the pond, and they lay and hatch the eggs near the pond itself. Most birds make cup-shaped nests using dry twigs and grass. So when we see most of the birds will have only cup-shaped nest using dry twigs and grasses. Only few birds like weaver bird, tailor bird, and woodpecker, their nest will be different. So when the baby bird is ready to fly, birds leave their nest. So what are all the different types of nest we saw? Weaver bird's nest we saw. Good. Then
Tailor bird.
yes, tailor bird. Yes, we saw woodpecker. Yes, duck's nest near the pond.
Sparrow nest.
Yes, sparrow nest. So when the baby bird is ready to fly, birds leave their nest. So that's all. With this lesson gets over. So please read the lesson. Any doubt, children? No. So today's homework is you will read this lesson fully. Next class, I will ask you some questions from this lesson.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. So Sudarshini is ready to show the nest which she is having in her house. Let's see. Sudarshini, yes, you can unmute and show the nest. Yes. See, children, can you see the nest? Sudarshini is showing how it is built using the twigs, small sticks. Very nice, Sudarshini.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Yes. Now you can mute yourself. Yes, children, with this, we can end today's session. Thank you, Jai Gurudev. Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye, ma'am. Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, ma'am.